the county had given Pot County Development Corporation 2 parcels, and the city gave a third. All 3 are adjacent. And so over the years, just as projects have come up, those parcels have not risen to the top of what now 712 initiative, what we've been able to do. We haven't been able to do anything with them yet. So Habitat was awarded some funding, some ARPA funding through Iowa Finance Authority, and they have a plan for it, and it's a great fit. So let's get those parcels out back on the market, and so they're the ones to do it.
After we received the IFA grant and the ARPA funds, and that was awarded to us, we kind of got to work to figure out where would be a good place to have an affordable housing development. As you may know, there's not a ton of land or affordable land in Council Bluffs, and Habitat historically has done like infill housing. So we buy a lot, build a house, buy a lot, build a house, single family. So through partnership with 712, they let us know that they had these 3 parcels available that we're just kind of waiting for a development to come along that matched the usage for that space. So we took a look. We had already been thinking about townhomes, so attached single family units, and it was a really neat downtown location to do that. I think the issue with housing in Council Bluffs, it's really multifaceted. You know, as you mentioned, there's a lack of land to develop on. What is there is not always affordable, so it makes affordable housing models difficult. You've got the landlocked nature of it, to where if you're building in Council Bluffs proper, there are hard, boundaries to that. So you get outside of that, now you're building in the county. Right. And then, there's other just market things that make it difficult. There's a lot of rentals in Council Bluffs, a lot of properties that have been acquired over the years by, well-meaning investors as investment properties. Right. So, those homes aren't available for sale for home ownership. So that, it's multifaceted. The solutions are multifaceted. It's really going to take kind of a all hands on deck approach to addressing each one of those issues on its own and finding solutions that work. It's putting a lot of different tools in the toolbox to address it. So yes, you need funding, you need financing, you need land, but you also need partnerships. You need agreements with other housing developers, market rate housing developers. As a nonprofit, I need to be working with, those larger development folks that do that work. Yeah. Well, Habitat's mission is very unique in the housing market, right? We believe that every person deserves safe, affordable housing. So in today's world, not every hardworking person can afford that option. So what we like to do, and what our mission drives us to do, is to figure out ways that hardworking families can purchase property, to start building equity in themselves, to start putting that money in the piggy bank per se, right? Instead of renting, to put it into their own investment in property. So we tailor our mission and our program to those folks living at and making under 80% of area median income. Okay. So there's a lot of income qualifications that go into our process and our program. And then we will work with them on an affordable mortgage. So dependent on and no higher than 30% of their take-home pay can go towards their principal payment for their mortgage. So it really depends on what they can afford. That's what we set the mortgage.
Money is always part of it. We are Iowa West and partners, housing partners, are continuing to work on what are the pieces we are missing and who can focus on what, where are our strengths, and how do we divvy out some of that work.
Just we're constantly plugging away to do what Habitat can do to fit into the housing needs of Council Bluffs. Like I mentioned, tools in a toolbox. Every opportunity's got to be a little bit different, look a little bit different. But just staying open to new partnerships, new ideas, new methods of building, all the things that help us to solve it kind of one house at a time.